What's up, everyone? It is winter in Southern California, if that's what we have here. Unfortunately, celebrate and run here with, it is now daylight savings time, which means it gets dark. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and subscribe. You know how it goes. Do all that stuff. You have a good time here with me in the garage. I promise you that. All right? All right. Let me dive into this thing. I want to walk you through its current condition, and then I'm going to go ahead and take you through some of the things that I know that I need to address and the things that I plan on doing with parts that I have on the shelf. All right? All right, let's dive into this thing. At like 5:30. I got a lot of shit to do. And so for it to get dark at 5:30 is an inconvenience. But because of that, I am now taking on a new task. What's that going to be? That's going to be this 2001 Dyna FXD. This has been sitting with me for a few years now, and I have been wanting to bite my teeth into it and get down with it, but I feel like now is the time for a couple of reasons. Let me break this down. One, I have a lot of these parts that I need to use sitting on my shelf, so that's going to definitely make it budget friendly for me. And number two, there's something that I want to build. I need to build something. There sometimes becomes this urge, this need, and this is one of those itches and urges to fill. You know, you just kind of get that craze sometimes, and so that's what I want to do. I'm not going to go extreme with this. I have some parts that I have sitting on the shelf already, like I said, that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to try and really keep this budget friendly. So as I go through this, I'm going to try and keep you guys notified of maybe a little bit how much I spent, how much I have into this, so that you guys can maybe take on a project like this of your own. I will walk you through some of the stuff that I will be doing. I may try and do some tutorials, some how-tos, some breakdowns, but I will give you guys the rundown of this bike as it progresses from what it is. So what I like to do is take you through what's current condition and then some things that I'm going to be doing to it, that I know that I'm going to be doing to it as the build goes along. So let me dive into a couple of these things. All right, now to start, this is a 2001 FXD Dyna. The base engine on these is a 88 cubic inch with a 5-speed transmission. As far as I know, that is what is in this bike. I've never opened up the cam chest. The story on this bike is, got it from a guy in New York a few years ago with the intentions of doing something to it. It didn't. It sat here. Got it for a good deal. Matter of fact, look, it even still has the New York State inspection sticker on there. 88, that's where I got it from, was from New York, had it shipped over here, and now it is time to start building this thing, have a little bit of fun with it, and then move it on to the next owner and let someone else enjoy it, all right? So, 88 cubic inch, 5-speed. It is, for the most part, stock right out of the gate. It still has the stock bars on it. All this is still in its stock location as well. The paint is stock, little dent on the tank, but it still has the stock emblems, which I really like, actually. 2001 and those era of bikes, these are my favorite year Dyna models, and I always enjoyed the different type of logos. A lot of people would paint over these, and now in these most recent years, they actually are replicating the decals that came on bikes because they want the original looking paint. So this is original paint on it. I will polish it up and get it cleaned up. It is a little dirty and it's got a few just surface scratches, but a lot of stuff that will polish right out. It is a what they call a what do they call these? Oh, I'm blonde. They call these, so it is what they call a blonde engine. Meaning where it is this color. Now, you can paint them. I've seen them painted, but it's also been done when I know that, you know, it's been taken apart and you're kind of piecing it back together. Obviously, it's much easier to paint that way. So I am going to see what I can do to maybe bring this back to life a little bit. A lot of elbow grease probably going to have to go into that. These cases here are all polished. So what I am going to do is definitely get a machine and start polishing them. I made a little sample right here. I just grabbed a little spit shine. This is a metal polish that I have. I have a couple of them, but this is a buddy's brand of mine, Spit Shine metal polish, and I went ahead and just threw a little elbow grease into it to kind of give me an idea like how will it polish up. This is just a very quick rub down with my 2 fingers to rub it down, and then a wipe down, and you can definitely see the difference between this and what it is currently. So I can definitely bring it back to life, so I'm excited about that, but that's just all cosmetic stuff. Nothing that I'm really going to address right now. That's definitely all towards the end. It does have the original shocks on it. I am going to be looking at putting some other shocks on it. The tires, they are pretty old, but they do have some tread. I'm going to work with them for now, and then once I get it going and running. My priorities right now are to get it up and running before we do anything else. It has been sitting for about 2 years, and it has been started in those 2 years, but it has it's just been sitting. Starts and then it runs for a little bit. Hasn't been driven or shifted or, you know, the brakes used. And if you don't know, the worst thing you can probably do for any motorcycle, any vehicle, is kind of let them sit. They kind of need to be ran. Those fluids need to be moved. Those, you know, gaskets need to be kind of, continue to be treated. They can't dry out and everything. So I do need to address the major things first. With that being said, first things first is getting it started. You can see right now, I do have it on my trickle charger, and we will see if it will start for me before I have to go buy a new battery. I probably will buy a new battery when it's all said and done, but I like to see what I can work with here. So I'm going to get this trickle charge for right now and get this thing started. I have already started a list of things that I need. It's a very good idea for you. If you don't have a whiteboard, you don't have to use a whiteboard. You can use a piece of cardboard, shit like that. I have finally invested, and I have for a while, but a whiteboard, write everything down that you need. These are kind of the things that I know that I need. Left front mid control mount, a battery, brakes. I need front suspension because that front suspension is done. I will need to buy that, but I'm going to go with Racetech. Very cheap and effective system. Oil filter, don't necessarily have to have a motor mount, but probably a good idea to replace it. Definitely spark plugs. These are the majority of the things that I know that I need right now, right out of the gate. Obviously, fluids. I have a ton of fluids here that I'm going to be using. I've had this stuff sitting on the shelf for a while, and this is the perfect bike for me to go ahead and use this in. 2050, it's going to work. So that is the project. That is where this is going to start. There are a lot of things that I do want to do to this. I would like to get some mag wheels for it. I do like the spokes. But again, this is really budget friendly. I'm going to really take the ugly out of it. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make this as maybe we would call them, a Dyna Bro style bike. I have some bars somewhere around here. Here we go. So I do have some 14-inch Lucky Dave's T-bars that will go up there. So those will look pretty good on there, right? Get rid of those bars. In addition, I have a T-Sport fairing that I have anxiously been waiting to use. Let me get it down here. Oh. In addition, I have a T-Sport fairing that I have been waiting to use. So T-Sport fairings are just a, good-looking, functional style fairing. And this is from my homeboys, Desk Suppliers. Shout out to my homeboys, Desk Suppliers, for the fairing here. I'm going to be using that on here with the T-bars. So we're going to kind of club it out. We're going to kind of West Coast it a little bit and give it that vibe. I may go 2 over if I can find a decent price on this. And I have some connections. I may turn this into a dual disc machine since I am going to be taking apart the front end. This suspension is totally shot. It's done. It's gone. I'm going to go in here. My suggestion, if you're ever going to go into this right here, don't just rebuild it. If you're going to dive into this and put something in there, spend like $250, $300, get some Race Tech, which is what I'm going to be using for this build here. Get some Race Tech shit and rebuild it with that. Do not build it with that stock Harley shit. It is absolutely crap. So that's what I think I'm going to use for this. And maybe if I can go 2 over, if I get a decent deal on some tubes, I may do that since I'm taking it all apart. Just for the height clearance, to be able to kind of rip it through some canyons. And I'll be going taller shocks in the back as well. The exhaust for right now, it is going to stay the 2. I would like to get a 2-into-1. I'll see if I can find something out there on the very cheap, because again, this is budget, but for right now, this is going to work. It's not for the style, but I am going to clean all this up. So I will have this. It'll look nice and good. And if I can get some mags, it'll make it look good. Maybe some chrome ones here in the front. We'll see what I can find. But once we find these T-bars, or once we get these T-bars on and we get this fairing on, it's definitely going to change the look of this thing. And once it's all cleaned up and it's running properly, that's the most important thing. It can look like a diamond, but it's got to run right. All right, so I will take you guys along as I am doing this, going along through the build. I don't have a time limit of what I plan for it to take. I would like to have it done within a couple of months, but I have 2 kids that are under 2. Well, I have a 2-year-old and I have a about to be 11-month-old. So I'm a little busy, and a 15-year-old, and a wife, and 2 dogs, and a house, and a full-time job, and a podcast, and a bunch of other things that go down the list. If you're a man, you feel me. You know what it is. So I would like to reasonably have this done in a couple of months. That's really going to depend how much time I can get out here in the garage. Maybe just do it late at night. Whatever hours I can do, and have the homeboys come over here, give me a hand, and put their hands on it as well. Because time in the garage is good time in the garage. A couple beers with the boys, working on a bike, and so we'll see how it goes. And then maybe just ride it for a little bit, enjoy it for myself a little bit, work the kinks out of it. Know that when I go and move it on, that it's a good functioning running bike, and I'm selling someone a good product that's been put together. So I'm excited for it. Follow along with the build, so make sure to subscribe, and I'll keep you guys updated as I move along. I'll post some videos here and there, just new updates, small things. Some things may be small, some may be more in detail, but it'll be a fun little winter build to follow along with. All right, guys, take it easy. Subscribe, like, comment. You know how to do it. All that shit. Till the next one. Later.